Hello everyone and welcome to Neo Racing League. We are here after a bit of waiting for Season 4. Division Alpha is back for yet another extraordinary season. 24 drivers will contest the season, 20 of them being full-time and the other 4 being reserves. I am your new and season-long commentator, James Jackson, and should be here for the all 14 rounds of the season. Does a very nice job keeping it high gears, getting a little bit of oversteer on exit there as up towards the line. Can Shoot Fizzle do enough to get himself a fairly big gap? 36.7, that's 4 seconds a lap off what we saw from our fastest time in Q1. 38.1 from the Williams. This is good news for the Aston Martin as his teammate is now on a lap as we go through the chicane of 14, 15 and 16. Massive amounts of oversteer. The track is certainly getting wetter by the second as we go round that final part of the lap. 38.0, that's another domino that has fallen to Shoot Fizzle time. 37.7, our fastest man in Q1 has not been able to set a fastest time in Q2 at this stage. Shoot Fizzle is in an amazing position right now. Marcel, 36.9, I believe he was on the intermediates. He set a very good time on that and managed to get away with and get himself into P2. Only 2 attempts off an Aston Martin who had much drier circumstances than everyone else. As now David, who retired in our practice session briefly before the start of the of qualifying, is on the intermediates as well. The Alpine could be on for a very good lap here, but he needs to keep it under control. He needs to maximise as best as he possibly can, rounding that final corner up towards the line. Where does the Alpine go? P4, 37.8. As this could be a very, very mixed up grid here. Here we go then. We're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for Neo Racing League. Division Alpha. And it's lights out, away we go for the season. And down. Gets a good start by Shoot Fizzle. Marcel not getting the most amazing of starts. David jumping ahead of JPS in the Mercedes. But Shoot Fizzle maintains his lead. McLaren maintains P2. David doing an excellent job there to maintain P3 ahead of the 2. He'll get P3 ahead of the 2 Mercedes. Rupsi made up a position on Handflap Kelly as a couple other drivers have made moves. Pump Mantis and Rampant Gamer are going side by side. There's 3 wide and there's a couple drivers in the wall at turn 5 after a few bit of side by side action. Is there any sort of safety car called, or are we okay? No, we're going to continue on. No one out of this race. Pump Mantis caught up in that. He will have damage. So will Bombvia as well. But Shoot Fizzle continues to lead the way. Can David find a way by? Because he want to try and get ahead and get a larger gap. Rampant Gamer has retired, and this is our first safety car of the season. Followed by Rupsicola, Bombvia, Pump Mantis, and Marcel. As we get underway, David pulls the trigger and puts the pedal to the metal. And we go racing once more down towards turn 1. He doesn't get that any sort of attack there from the Mercedes behind, but Shoot Fizzle has made his way by as there's a bit of battling behind. There's got the McLaren and the Red Bull going side by side for P9 and P10. And now that's a bit of contact there between the McLaren and the Red Bull. There is a couple drivers who are quite far down the order. I wonder if there's a bit of contact there. Looks right, looks left. He decides to go to the outside as there's a bit of 3 wide back movement in the background. Around the outside goes the Mercedes. A bit of contact there as he cuts across the chicane. Gary Gator managing to keep the position. It is very, very hard racing as you go through. There's a bit more contact. They're all over each other as they go down the straight. The Haas of Marchmeister is all over the back of them. They're going to go and try to find a way past each other. Shoot Fizzle down the inside. It's a bit of contact and therefore he's now been spun round. Luckily he's got away without any damage, but the Aston Martin has lost a bit of time there as now that has allowed Gary Gator to pull a little bit of a gap. Marcel's got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He becomes our second retirement in the session. Handflap Kelly comes into the pit to put on a new set of tyre. Marcel, absolutely frustrated, started in P2, is out come lap 6 for Nutria. Bombvia, Pumped Mantis will all be fighting with Parkster for position. 4 drivers, 4 different teams are looking for a position here. Parker Parkstar has managed to put a little bit of a gap here. There's a bit of contact there between Nutria and Pump Mantis. That has pushed the Mercedes wide. That'll cost him position, not just to the Red Bull, but also to the RB as Bonvia goes down the inside into turn 5. There's a massive lockup. He's very lucky to get away without contact there with Nutria. It was very Brown talent moment if you've ever seen one. Potential for more to come. DRS for Gary Gator. He will get by the Mercedes and take the race lead away from him. Cuts directly across him to make sure there is no late braking from the Mercedes. There's a massive collision there as the Mercedes tried to save his mistake, and the Alpine could not stop in time. That has completely ruined David's chances. He's got damage. The Mercedes continues on as he will fight Marchmeister into turn down towards turn 1, but that will allow the podium place to go to the Haas. Meanwhile, JPS is round once more. The Alpine now is going to have to slipstream up towards the line. He's going to try and make a move into around the final corner, and into turn 1 he's going to get a massive slingshot into turn 1. JPS sets the fastest lap of the race. Down the inside goes the Alpine. Can he make the move stick? Unfortunately, not quite, as Nutria and him have another collision as David caught in another incident with another Mercedes, and that is heartbreaking for Nutria, who has not been treated too kindly at this stage. Pumpman will pull a little bit of a gap over JPS in the and David in the Alpine and the Mercedes, but the Mercedes is now looking to try and get by the driver, who, unfortunately for him, got caught up. The Alpine got caught up in the Mercedes' spin, and he's trying to make amends, trying to get by. But our attention will have to soon turn to the battle for the race lead. Shoot Fizzle is catching Gary Gator at a rate of knots as we go on to the end of lap 13. There's another, and that's out of the race. That is a Red Bull of Pump Mantis, who ended up in the wall at turn 12. Very unfortunate for him. Severe collision from 10-second time penalty for JPS, and that is very unfortunate. He's got damage now. We're about to get underway. When does Shoot Fizzle go? He goes now. He gets a bit of a launch, so this allows him a little bit of breathing space into turn 1 from Gary Gator. Allows him to find his breaking point quite nicely there as we go into the first couple of corners. Can Shoot Fizzle now pull a gap over the Sauber? He's sticking right and close to that rear wing of the Aston Martin. He takes very different lines. They're taking very different lines to try and get runs on each other. However, DRS is now enabled, so this could be game, set and match at this time for Gary Gator. DRS will be in a few moments. He won't even need it. He will have all enough from the slipstream in the ERS. They're going to go 2 by 2 like it's Noah's Ark as we go 4 wide almost. 3 wide. Definitely their Pump Mantis has left. Okay, never mind. He's already retired. But that has allowed David to get through for P2. Gary Gator has got through for P1. Marchmaster has dropped down to P4. Shoot Fizzle has dropped down to 3rd. David could make a move here on the Sauber. He goes around the outside of the final corner. Could he make the move stick? At the moment, he just about does so. Excellent job from David. He goes from P4 to P1 in all about 1 sector. He's sat behind. He's been in P2, being the bridesmaid at this point for the last couple laps. Will he become the bride come the end of the start finish straight? It will not look like that as David swoops on by as he gets his flowers once more. Through to P1 as Marchmeister is going to make that 3 wide, and it's going to continue being 3 wide, 4 wide, then down towards turn 14. There's a couple of drivers backing out. Gary Gator though manages to get the lead, and that means Marchmeister drops down to P4 as David P2, Shoot Fizzle P3. I've done it in an absolutely horrible order, but Gary Gator finds his way to P1 after multiple laps of effort. This is going to be now or never from Gary as we go through their massive lock up off the rears. Those rears are not liking that 3-second time penalty. It is now costly. It is now David's chance to catch him, who are continuing to fight at this stage after a lapsed breather. We are not getting a breather on here. Into turn 5. Does David look around the outside? He does so of the Sauber, and David moves up the P1. The Alpine has taken the position Shoot Fizzle couldn't get anywhere near the two of them, but Gary Gator took defence and could not manage it. And now the David has won on attack. That 3-second time penalty on track, while on track, is the battle for the lead. It is that penalty looming for that Sauber. He's going to try and get by. There's a bit of contact there as the Sauber goes into David, and that is absolutely costed the Sauber of not just a race win, but a whole chunk of points. And now he will have a significant portion of damage as the Sauber is now out of his fight. David Shoot Fizzle will be fighting for the races lead. Professional pole sitter now takes not professional pole sitter, pole sitter takes the race lead. Meanwhile, Nutria is going to make a move for P3. He will take position. David gets a 3-second. Marchmeister right now is the one behind them who will certainly take advantage. Bomvia, Marchmeister, DRS for the RB. Has he perfectly timed it? He doesn't even need DRS. He goes by with the slipstream and he takes the position. And unfortunately for the Haas, has nothing to defend with. And that for the RB has taken position. JPS has taken P6, but all eyes are on the man in P1. It started on pole, has not been a lights to flag victory, but he will take the first victory of the season. Shoot Fizzle is the race victor in Las Vegas as the Aston Martin celebrates his victory. P2 for David. He got that 3-second gap to the cars behind. Bomvia in P3. P4 for Marchmeister in an excellent race from him.